On the 60th episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast, we're going to be talking about some MLB news along with some NFL news with my fantasy football roster, where you're going to be ranking the top 5 viral MLB moments in recent years, and ended off with some Hall of Fame, yay or nay. Special shout out to Prime Hydration for powering this week's podcast. Roll it! Welcome to HatTrick Sports, starring your host, Isaiah Carpenter. Bringing you the biggest sports headlines every week. This is the HatTrick Sports Podcast. Jump into this. Not a whole lot to talk about. We're in the middle of August at the time of this filming. There's just, we got some baseball, football, preseasons going on. We don't have a whole lot about that. Fantasy football, I'm going to be talking about my roster. We're going to be ranking top 5 viral moments in MLB. And then Hall of Fame year night. So again, not too much, but let's get started. The White Sox. Let me look at their standings real quick. Low MLB standings. So the White Sox are officially out of the playoffs. They are 30-94. This is probably the worst team I've ever seen in my life. They're 42 and a half games back. So what are they? 124 games since the season. So yeah, they can't come back. They're officially out of the playoffs. I believe this was in the last couple days. But they're 3-7 in their last 10 games. So you got to give them that. They lost 21 straight, and now they've won 3 of their last 10s. You got to give them that. But yeah, in the AL Central, which again I understand it's a harder division. You got the Guardians, Twins, and then you could argue the Royals. But like, you guys are 42 and a half games back. You guys are 12-50 away and 18-44 at home. I don't know. I was looking at their schedule. So in May, they had a really, really good May. They beat the Guardians in a series. They beat the Rays in a series. The Cardinals in a series. So like, they've won series, but this was all in May before the 21 game losing streak happened. They just suck. They are absolutely horrible. I know I've talked about this for the last few podcasts and made this a core topic. They're horrible. I mean, usually it would be like, hey, the Tigers suck. They're 12 and a half games back. No, wait, 30 games behind 4th place are the White Sox. They're horrible. There's not much to say besides they suck. Let me see. But Alex Verdugo, we're going to move on. Alex Verdugo is allergic to his batting gloves. Now, I have never heard of this. What I know so far, let me pull this up. Here we go. Nope, there we don't go. Let me pull it up. Verdugo, yeah, New York Yankees left fielder Alex Verdugo found out recently that he is allergic to his batting gloves. Apparently something about the chemicals in his batting gloves. He says, he told NJ Advanced Media about the issues with his hands, saying that they blister and scab, and Verdugo says that he has dealt with this problem since 2021. So I believe he was with the Red Sox. I think the Dodgers gave him to, I think he signed with the Red Sox in 2019, and then eventually he ended up with the Yankees. So I think this was when he was in Boston. But yeah, I've never heard of such a thing. I want to see a few things what he's going to do with it. Either, or in my opinion, I could be wrong. Either he's not going to wear batting gloves and just go bare hands on the bat, which again, you don't see a lot of major leaguers do that these days, but you know, it happens. It's either that or he gets some sort of custom gloves or some gloves that don't have the chemicals that he's allergic to, so his hands don't blister and scab up. But I'm wondering if this is going to affect his batting appearance, if he's going to do a lot better, or maybe he's going to do a lot worse because he can't use traditional batting gloves. But yeah, I'm interested to see what is going to happen about all of this, and I know it's a very, very small news story, but I feel like this could have a big impact in the Yankees and Alex Verdugo's play. Driving in more runs, maybe these blisters and scabs are preventing him from more power, so maybe he's going to be more of a, maybe he's going to hit more home runs later on. We'll see. It depends what his solution is going to end up being. Again, either custom gloves without the chemicals that he's allergic to, or no gloves at all, or he sticks with these batting gloves and he just keeps having scabs and blisters, but I don't think he will do that. On to the next one. Jarren Duran is in the hot seat. By the time this comes out, it's been a week or two, but Jarren Duran, there was obviously some fans chirping at him, saying he needs a tennis racket to hit some balls. Now, obviously, if you don't know Jarren Duran's story, go look it up, a whole mental health stuff. But he basically, somebody was mic'd up, or somehow a mic picked up him saying some slurs that I will not repeat. I may put it in post-edit. But yeah, he basically says, shut up, you effing F. I think that's a quote, whatever. But yeah, you guys can look it up if you can. Honestly, I don't know how I want to address this. I obviously would never say that, but there's different ways you could address it. There's better ways Duran could have addressed this, but fans chirping at him. He's the major leaguer. I know he's gonna get penalized for all this, but you could be like, at least I'm out there, like something like that. You could chirp back at the fans, which I'm not saying you have to chirp back at the fans. I don't know. I know you could also get fined for that, but you don't got to use those kind of words to do that. And again, if whoever was mic'd up wasn't mic'd up, this wouldn't have ever happened. But yeah, his jersey sales went through the roof after that. It says sales of Red Sox player Jarren Duran's jersey have skyrocketed in the days following the outfielder's use of homophobic slur during a game. Duran was walking up to the plate, like I explained, during a game against the Astros last weekend when a spectator shouted out that the player needed a tennis racket to get a hit. In response, he obviously heckled back at them, saying, you know what he said. The Red Sox outfielder promptly received significant backlash for use of the word while speaking with the fan, with the organization choosing to suspend him without pay for this. I don't know what's his contract at. Jarren Duran's salary. Yeah. All right. He's getting like minimum, league minimum. All right. But still, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But he didn't get paid for those 2 games. Boston also announced that the salary Duran would lose due to the suspension would be donated. Okay, so basically they took pay out of his 2 games, and Boston donated it to the LGBTQ group, a certain LGBTQ group. The 27-year-old made his return to the lineup on Wednesday night in a loss against the Rangers, but many fans have seemingly come to his defense as his jersey sales have been among the highest in league following announcement of his suspension. So yeah, there's a lot of different sides to this story about what fans think, about what he thinks. Obviously, he's going to announce to the public that he's sorry. That was in the moment, which I think in a way that's true. I think it was in the heat of the moment. But either way, if it was, I don't know. I don't really know how to address this. But yeah, his jersey sales went through the roof after this suspension. He kind of made a bigger name for himself. Obviously, he was pretty big, all-star, MVP, and all that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is the controversial topic of the episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's talk about these MLB standings. All right, so we already kind of discussed the AL Central with the White Sox and the Tigers and all of that, but let's go to the AL East. Now, at the time of this recording, let me repeat because I know there's going to be a lot of comments on this. At the time of this recording, August 18th, 2024, the Yankees and Orioles are within 1 game of each other in the AL East. The Yankees, again, at this time of this recording, are in first, and then the Orioles are a game back. The Yankees have 73 wins. I believe that is the highest in the league. Let me double check. Nope. The Phillies also have 73 wins. Dodgers in second along with the Orioles and Guardians. And then there's a couple teams with 71 wins. Again, at the time of this recording, you got the Brewers. The Padres have 70 wins. They're trying to catch up to the Dodgers. We'll talk about that here in a second. And then so on. If you're in the 70s, and again, at the time of this recording, if you're in the 70s, if you have 70 or more wins, you're going to make the playoffs, and you're going to have potential to win the World Series. So I think at this time, if you don't have 70 wins, you're probably not going to win the World Series. But if you do have 70 or more wins, there's a likelihood that you'll make it far in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. How many teams are at 70 or more wins? 1, you got the Yankees, Orioles, Guardians, Twins. All right, so there's 4 in the AL. You got the Phillies, Brewers, Dodgers, Padres. So what is that? 8. So 8 teams. 8 teams have 70 or more wins. That's where you want to be. If you want to be top 8, you want to be top 8 going into the playoffs. Playoffs are a couple months away. Was it October We're in August. So, yeah, a month or two away. But, yeah, let's talk about the NL East, though. The Phillies are taking it all. They are 8 games in front of the Braves, and then the Mets trail behind them. And then the Nationals and Marlins are barely a team anymore, along with the White Sox. I don't know. White Sox are just so bad. I have to talk about them. NL Central, you got the Brewers, Cardinals. Brewers are obviously going to win that division, no doubt about it. Cardinals are 10 games back. And then, so the Cardinals, Cubs, and Reds at the time of this recording are all within a game of each other. And then the Pirates are 12.5. So, in the NL Central, they're all, except for the Brewers who are ahead by 10 games. The Cardinals, Cubs, Reds, and Pirates are all within 2.5 games of each other. The NL West, the Dodgers, Padres, and Diamondbacks. Again, like I kind of discussed this last week. The Dodgers are still in first. They have been pretty much all season. I'm not sure about the first couple games or whatever. But they're still in first. They were ahead by like 6 or 8 games. Now they're only leading the Padres by 2 games. The Diamondbacks at 3 games. And then, again, you're at the downhill of the Giants and Rockies. Rockies, not a whole lot of news coming out of the Rockies. Obviously, the White Sox are taking the worst team ever award. And then the Rockies are just kind of there. They're not good. Don't get me wrong. They're not good at all. But you don't hear a lot of news from them. I don't remember the last time I talked about the Rockies on this podcast. And I'm a Dodgers fan, and they're in the NL West. Who else we want to talk about? Let's talk about last AL West. The Astros are ahead by 4 games against the Mariners. Now, the Astros were like in 4th place a few months ago, and then they took a month or two and just exploded. I don't know how that happened, but the Mariners are 4 games behind them, and then the Rangers are 11 games behind them. I don't know how a team who won the World Series last year is now 11 games behind first place in their division. I just don't understand how that's possible. But I think that's it for MLB standings. Let's talk about another Dodgers pitcher injury. Tyler Glasnow. Dodgers plays Tyler Glasnow on IL with right elbow tenderness. I don't know what that means. Something with his elbow. Dodgers pitcher Tyler Glasnow was placed on the 15-day IL Friday with right elbow tenderness. I don't know what that means. It's a second IL since the season started. Dave Roberts said an MRI showed no structural damage, which was very, very good, and that he expects Glasnow to return after his 15-day IL is up. He's not. Glasnow is 9-6 with a 3.5 ERA over 22 starts, so he's doing a good season. It's just, you have seen probably close to 20 instances this season alone where Dodgers pitchers are on the IL. I don't know where, I don't know if it's with the pitch clock. I don't know if it's with how Mark Pryor, the pitching coach for the Dodgers, is managing the team. I don't know what this is about, but I don't know why the Dodgers. It seems like just the Dodgers have so many pitching injuries this season. It's going to prevent us from the playoffs. It did last year. We had to put bullpen games in the DS last year. Should never happen. But these injuries are just getting so out of hands. Man. Yeah. But we're going to talk about that a little bit more. There's a potential, I guess MLB's in discussion, which, first of all, I'm going to come out first and say I absolutely hate this. Potential 6-inning minimum rule for starting pitchers in the MLB. I don't know when they would place this into effect. They're not even... Apparently, it's just an idea right now. This is absolutely horrible. So you want to do the pitch clock, which is ruining pitchers' bodies, and then you want them to go a minimum of 6 innings. Now, trust me, I would love starters to go 6 innings, but health-wise, and if I want my team to win the World Series, but they have to, risk their lives and, not their lives, risk their body, in arms, and they can't throw, you're going to have to give them 7 days rest or something like that. There are only exceptions because, obviously, if somebody's hurt or... There's exceptions to this. The exceptions would be, now this is, again, just in talks, if you throw over 100 pitches, if you give up 4 more earned runs, or if you have an injury, and if you have this injury and you have to get taken out before the 18 outs or whatever, you have to be placed on the 10-day IL. I don't think they're going to end up going through with this. I just think it's absolutely horrible, especially as a Dodgers fan who's seen so many pitching injuries just since the pitch clock. Not a fan at all. Not a fan of this idea. I hope it's just an idea. I hope it stays an idea. But Rich Hill, Old Man Hill, Let's see. Let me find it. Yeah, left-handed pitcher Rich Hill, who is now 44 years old, signs a minor league deal with the Red Sox. He will report to AAA on Sunday or Monday. So by the time this comes out, he has reported to AAA. The deal marks a return to Boston for Hill, who has logged 5 seasons with the Red Sox, 2010 through 2012, 2015, and 2022 in his 19-year career. So he's still trying to make it. I don't know if he's like bored at home twiddling his thumbs or something, but he still has the passion of playing baseball even at 44 years old. It's like Tom Brady, except Rich Hill wasn't horrible, but he's just not as good or influential as Tom Brady. But he's up there. He's at that age. In total, Hill has pitched for 13 MLB teams. Again, immaculate grid hero. Hill pitched for the Pirates and Padres and became a free agent in the offseason. He has a career ERA of 4.01 with a record of 90 and 73. So that's all we really got on this. This is all the information that we got on this. I don't think he's going to go back to the MLB. He might stay in AAA, but you know what? We'll take it. It's good. What else? Aaron Judge, the captain. Now, probably the best hitter in the major leagues right now. I'm not going to, even as a Shohei fan, he is absolutely crazy. He is the fastest guy to hit 300 home runs. So he did this, again, a few days ago. Maybe by the time this comes out a week. He has hit his 300th career home run in less than 1,000 games. He hit his 300th career home run in 955 games. Wow. It's the fastest by any player ever. This is an average of a home run every 3 games for his entire career. Second place is at 1,087, which is Ralph Kiner. And then Ryan Howard is behind that, and then Juan Gonzalez, Alex Rodriguez, and then Giancarlo Stanton with 1,119. This dude beat this record by over 100 games. Aaron Judge is absolutely insane. He's going to win MVP for the AL. Ohtani's going to win it for NL, and that's what I got about that. I know I got to bring the Dodgers into everything, but it's true. All right, now let me see. Yeah, I was going to do that before, but let's move on to our sponsored segment. Power through your day with Prime Energy, packed with natural caffeine, B vitamins, and non-nootropic ingredients. Prime Energy drink gives you clean, sustained energy you need to stay focused and alert. With bold flavors and no crash, it's the perfect fuel for any challenge. Get energized, stay sharp, and conquer your goals with Prime Energy. Now, I live in the Eastern time zone, and I am a Dodgers fan, and I gotta watch the West Coast quite often, and Dodger games don't start often until 10 o'clock at night. Now, I got school, I got all this stuff to do. I don't want to be staying up and getting up early, so hey, just pop open a Prime Energy drink and get it done. Then you can watch all the Dodger games you want on the West Coast. All right, so special shout out to Prime Hydration for sponsoring this week's podcast. All right, let's take a look. Last night, we had our annual fantasy football draft, and here is who I got. Now, my team name, HatTrick Sports as a whole has a team name, Submersible Rescue Squad, with the logo being a little crush can. If you understand, you understand. If not, you've been living under a rock the last 3 years. But let's see who I got. At QB, we got Brock Purdy, all right? We got 2 running backs. This is a PPR league, just a heads up. You got James Conner and Jahmyr Gibbs. At wide receivers, we got 2 Eagles wide receivers. Now, I think that's a really good pickup. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. At our tight end, we got Sam Laporta. At our flex, we got Rashee Rice. And then our bench guys, we have Jaden Daniels, Chase Brown, Brandon Cooks, Tank Dell, Zay Flowers, and Cole Kmet. And then for our kicker, I got Tyler Bass. And then for our defense, we got them Cowboys. So let me know what you guys think about that. Who I should try to trade for. Do whatever you got to do. Or, give me suggestions. We're trying to win this year. We got a pretty harsh punishment this year. So we got to win, all right? So let me know what you guys think. Change. thoughts on this fantasy football team. All right, let's move on. Oh, let me get a drink of that. Here we go. Top 5 viral MLB moments. Now, just a heads up, because I got I got some backlash from last week's top 5. This is all within the last 5 years. All right, so keep that in mind. This is all in the last 5 years. So, at number 5, you got the Trey Turner slide. Now, you know what I mean. The Trey Turner, when he was with the Dodgers, just slid up. He just came down, slid, came back around, and just was at a diagonal angle. I don't know, play the clip. This was absolutely insane. Me watching this live as Trey Turner, I was like, oh, this is the best player we've ever had on our team. I love Trey Turner. I wish he went back with the Dodgers. But that is at the 5 spot. At number 4, you got Javier Baez, the 2021. It was a crazy play. I don't even know how to describe this. Well, I know how to describe it. I don't even know what to call this play. It was the Cubs against the Pirates. Javi goes to first. You could have easily forced out at first. Instead, Javi runs back home, doesn't touch home plate. But the first baseman ends up throwing it to the catcher. The catcher misses the tag at home. And then Javi ends up getting to second with a whole bunch of missed throws and errors. There were more errors than thrown balls. Not officially, but you know what I mean. It was absolutely insane. That's why it was insanely viral for a year. Not a year, a few months. But that is at the 4 spot. At number 3, the World Baseball Classic, Shohei Ohtani versus Mike Trout. To end the World Baseball Classic, it came down to the final out, USA versus Japan. Obviously, Japan ended up winning, and the greatest baseball player of all time got the glory that he deserved, and then ended up going to LA. But yeah, at number 3, you do have Shohei Ohtani against Mike Trout. Imagine if those two are on the same team. It would be absolutely insane. The Angels would win. The Angels would win every World Series ever. The 2 greatest players of our generation. I think you could say that. The 2 greatest players of our generation. At number 2, runner-up to number 1, Joe Kelly to Correa after the cheating scandal. Obviously, there were no fans. Carlos Correa's throw it in the strike zone or whatever, and then Joe Kelly with his iconic face. I mean, I still use that. I don't use that face, but I still mention and bring up that face quite often because the Astros are absolutely a horrible franchise for cheating. All right. What do we got at number 1? All right. At number 1, most recent. Now, maybe there's some recent persuasionism. I don't know if I said that. Maybe it's persuading because it was more recent. But at number 1, you got Jarren Duran. Obviously, play the clip. This isn't... I'm not going to say this. I'm obviously not going to say this, but it went pretty viral, and it went so viral that his jersey sales went through the roof. So I'm not saying I approve of it, that I not suggest it, but that I encourage this kind of behavior. But you cannot admit it was a pretty viral moment for over a week. All right, so there's top 5 viral baseball moments. All right, we are on to my favorite segment, Hall of Fame, yay or nay? Oh, I pressed the wrong button. All right, we're on to my favorite segment, Hall of Fame, yay or nay? All right, Hall of Fame, yay or nay? Now, Rafael Devers, does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? He is a potential Hall of Famer, some may say. Let's see what he's classified as. 1 second, I had a classification here somewhere of what he would be. 1 second. Yeah. So the young right now star. So he's obviously young. Let me look up Rafael Devers stats. All right. We are looking at Rafael Devers' career stats. Does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame now, or he's a 3-time All-Star. He obviously won the World Series with the Red Sox in 2018. 2-time Silver Slugger. He's only played for the Red Sox. A career WAR of 23.3 with over 3,600 at-bats, over 1,000 hits, almost 200 home runs. He has 199 home runs. How many games has he played? I don't know. I could 1 second. Let me find out how many games he's played. He has played. Oh, all right. So he has played 951 games and is about to hit his 200th home run. Meanwhile, Aaron Judge has played 955 games and hit 300 home runs. That's wild comparison. But yeah, a career batting average of 282, over 600 runs, over 630 RBIs, 31 stolen bases. Not a stolen base guy. With OPS plus of 129, OPS of 866, slugging of 519, and a non-base percentage of 348. Now, right now, I know it's a high WAR for the amount of time that he's played. Now, so far this season, he has a 4.4 wins above replacement. So I'll give him that. But I don't think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame yet. Now, if he continues this up, now again, this is since I believe he debuted in 2017. Let's see what he led the league in. He led the league in doubles in 2019 with 54. He led the league in the same year in 2019 in total bases of 359. How many triples did he have? He had 4 triples that season. How many home? Oh, he had over 200 hits. That's wild. He had 200 hits? I don't know. That seems crazy to me. And then how many? He had 4 triples. Let's see. He was 12th in MVP voting that year. In 2021, he was 11th in MVP voting. Right now he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. Maybe in the future, but yeah, just not right now. All right, so thank you guys for That's an A. It's an A. Rafael Devers right now does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe in the future. We'll see what happens in the future. But thank you guys for watching the 60th episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast. Make sure you follow, like, share, do whatever you got to do. Go to shophattricksports.com and get some wonderful merchandise. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts, including YouTube for all the visuals. Go follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, or the X, whatever you want to call it. And we will see you guys next week for episode 61.